Well, we begin with this breaking news just in. President Cyril Ramaphosa saying he stands by his decision to suspend Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. It comes after she gave the president until the end of today to repeal that decision. She threatened him with legal action should he fail to do so by the end of business. That's at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Mkhwebane has accused Ramaphosa of being conflicted as he acted against her a day after she announced her office would investigate the Phala farm robbery. Last week, Mkhwebane lost her bid to interdict a parliamentary impeachment inquiry into her fitness to hold the office. She's also approached the African Commission on Human and People's Rights to seek compensation of about 50 million rand, claiming that her rights have been violated. Let me bring into this conversation constitutional law expert Cathy Powell. Cathy, good evening to you. Thanks for your time tonight. We're just seeing that tweet from the president's spokesperson tonight, that's Vincent Magwenya, confirming that the president stands by his decision to suspend the public protector. What happens now, Cathy? And really, what do you make of this standoff, this, contest and tension, long-standing tension, if I may add, between the president and the now suspended public protector?
Evening, Cathy. I make of it that the public protector is being deliberately obtuse, in that she is fighting more and more unwinnable cases. We've seen that happen. The judgment on Friday made it clear that that case should never have been brought, and that, in fact, what it was doing was standing by the Western Cape's High Court decision of a year or two before, and the Constitutional Court's decision in the meanwhile. So the public protector does have a habit of just bringing cases, and on Friday that led to a punitive costs order against her. In this case, there is a new legal ground on which the public protector would be acting, but it is also very weak. What she's doing is, I think she is threatening to take Cyril Ramaphosa on judicial review. Now, if a decision is taken by a member of government that affects you adversely, you have the right to seek review of that decision. The question just becomes, against what standard is the court going to review the government's actions? What kind of hoops does the Government Act have to jump through in order to be acceptable? So in this case, it's not quite a rehashing of Friday's case. But a lot of the things she's going to claim have already been decided by Friday's case.
Cathy, what is the legal standing of the letter issued by the public protector, given the fact that this would have been a letter that she issued while being suspended?
That's a good question. I think that the right to challenge your suspension would mean that your letter is valid. It's not going to be a letter from the office of the public protector. It's going to be a letter from the person who was suspended. But it's still a valid challenge to which the president has to respond, and he has done so.
Let's talk about what is likely to follow next, because she did threaten court action in the failure of her reinstitution.
Yes. So what she's now going to do is go to the Western Cape High Court and bring a case against the President of South Africa, asking the court to review his decision to suspend her. And she's going to have to show why that suspension was unlawful. And she's got a tough act here to carry out, because she can't argue that he was biased. That issue has already been dealt with in Friday's judgment. She can't argue that he's not dealing, that there aren't safeguards for the decision that he's made, because he was acting on a report delivered by an independent panel of 3 people, which set out a very plausible set of reasons why there was a case against her for both misconduct and incompetence. So she can't say that he was just acting out of malice when he had something objective to go on. It'll be hard for her to say he's being unreasonable. And beyond that, she can't say that he had no authority to do it, because he's authorized by the Constitution. So I really can't see how she's planning to wing this one.
When we look at, again, the premise under which she'll be taking this matter to court, will it be under her being the public protector, or will this be a personal bid? Because ultimately it speaks to where the payment for the legal action is going to come from.
That is a very good question, because she herself tackles the president for daring to distinguish between herself as the incumbent and the Office of the Public Protector itself. She says they are synonymous. Again, she has Friday's judgment making the point that they are not synonymous. And what's happening now is she is appealing her suspension from that position, which I would understand to mean she's appealing as a human being, as a person, and not as the office of the Public Protector. And I'm interested to note that it's not actually one of the media statements on the Public Protector's website that she has challenged her own suspension. So I think we must see this as the act of the individual against the president in order to get back into her position at the Public Protector's office.
One can't look at this entire spectacle and not have questions about the kind of impact that this is having on the office of the Public Protector and the work that that office has to do on a day-to-day basis.
Indeed, this is a tragedy that we're watching unfold. You know, Advocate Mkhwebane keeps saying that this is bad for the Office of the Public Protector, that these measures are being taken against her, that she's being suspended, that there's the investigation against her. But of course, if there isn't proper oversight by the National Assembly, which is its constitutional duty, and if there isn't appropriate response by the President to a serious threat, then it is she herself who damages the Office of the Public Protector. And while the Office of the Public Protector is not doing its job because it's busy fighting for its incumbent, then people who have been abused by others in power, who are poor and marginalized, have nowhere else to go, are simply not being helped. So it's kind of a fun battle to watch, but it's a human tragedy for the people that actually need the Office of the Public Protector.
At the same time, the issue that the Public Protector is raising, where it concerns the President and allegations about where he may have broken the law, that too is a very, very important issue. And the silence of the President has not helped in as far as the speculation then that is drawn around why it is the timing of the suspension of the Public Protector took place in the way that it did.
Yes, the President has a case to answer to, and it is very serious. The problem is both things can be true at the same time. He has a case to answer, she has a case to answer. And his steps about her case are backed up not just by his personal animosity, but by a whole procedure which has been running for years. I don't know why he chose that day to suspend her, but one of the points that the court has made and that Parliament has made is that it's very important that there be separation of powers here, and that Parliament and the President, working with Parliament, continues to do its job and not get stopped by frivolous legal action. So it may be that decision to suspend was simply made because it was part of the process of Parliament's oversight of the Public Protector. It would certainly help if Cyril Ramaphosa himself looked blameless at the moment, which he does not. But the fact that he has a case to answer does not, in fact, legally affect what action is taken about her case, because that was backed up by the independent panel, and it's based on a whole lot of court cases. And really, there can be no comparison on the facts between the two sets
of course,
of mistakes.
Yeah, of course, the difficulty here is that given the high-profile nature of these cases, it's very easy to have the substantive issues that concern both the President and the Public Protector get lost in just, you know, the drama and the controversy of it all.
Well, we need to keep a clear head, because it's going to happen that a Public Protector will be investigating members of the executive. That's just in the nature of the job. And it's going to happen sometimes, well, we hoped it wouldn't, but it's going to happen that there are credible and serious allegations against the Public Protector to which Parliament and the executive must respond. And in those cases, it's really important to try to tease out the issues and not buy into this idea that it's just a slanging match or a fight between two power factions. This is a matter of law. And if the rules are not applied properly, then the rule of law does not win. And we can't stop being really passionate about the rule of law, because then we lose the country. We want all to be under the power of law and not just the most powerful party to get its way.
Of course, the suspension of the public protector also doesn't mean that the president gets off scot-free. He's still expected to answer in the next 2 weeks those 31 questions that were issued to him by the office.
Exactly. Nothing changes in the investigation by the Public Protector's Office of Cyril Ramaphosa. That was a point that Advocate Mkhwebane seems to be wanting to ignore, that actually there's an office and it carries on its job. And in fact, if the allegations against her are accurate, it will carry on its job better without her than with her. So it's carrying on investigating Cyril Ramaphosa. He's not getting away with anything. And he's got to answer those questions. And it's actually business as usual, except that one particular influence who has been found to be disruptive, dishonest, and damaging in the past is not at the helm at the moment.
Do you think that what we're seeing unfold now is going to have any kind of bearing of that inquiry that is being held by Parliament into her fitness to hold office?
It shouldn't. They are basing their inquiry on the report that they got from the independent panel. I'm not sure how much more recent facts are being allowed to play into it. They don't need to bring more recent facts into it. They can simply deal with the allegations that were brought to the independent panel, and which the independent panel said were well substantiated. So it shouldn't actually make a difference at all. What Parliament has to do is to work out whether those allegations are true, and whether, perhaps at the point it decides what to do about it, it might look at her more recent behavior as well.
All right.
Because what's become important now is her absolute refusal to be held to account in any way. And that would be a sign that she should probably go.
Thank you so much for your time tonight. Constitutional law expert Cathy Powell weighing in on that issue.